Yeah. There. What is up, ladies and gents? It's Greg from Team Hybrid BMX. Here, hold on just a second, guys. Let me adjust this just slightly. There we go. That's probably a little bit better. What's up, guys? So, what I'm doing today on this Tuesday episode of Team Hybrid BMX, I know I said we were going to do the next bike as far as a review of it and tear down. That's going to actually be on Wednesday's video. But for today, we're going to start taking apart this this Stollen and getting into what needs to be done on this bike. So the first thing we're going to do is take this back wheel off. So tools that you need, which I just keep a box, I just keep a bag of tools. It makes it easier for me for when I'm going out riding. I just have all my tools already here, so I don't really have to stress out about whether I have my tools or not. Just grab and go. So that's just the way I do it. That's not the way you have to do it. That's 14 and 15. So I know I can do 15 here. Work by base. By base. Shoot base. Let's see. 15. This is the only thing about keeping stuff in your bag. You kind of have to dig a little bit to find the tools you need, but that's okay. Pull them out. Dig through. 19. Should be a 15. Where are they? I should have been doing 15. I thought I did. I thought I did 15. Here, I guess not. Yep, 15. Here we go. Okay. So now we gotta take off this back wheel. So let's start with that. As you see, I put a hook up here so that way I make it a little easier for myself. And kind of work on it on the fly from up top. It's a little bouncy, which isn't the best. I plan on buying an actual bike stand eventually, but Dustin made a really good point that I didn't really need a bike stand quite yet. And he's right, I don't. Alright, so we gotta take this back wheel off. This thing is done. This back wheel is done. Now, the tire is probably salvageable. The rim might be salvageable. But this hub is completely toast. It was really rocky and it's not a good hub. So that's probably gonna go to the trash, but there's quite a bit of salvage parts on this. The tire is still decent, still dry rotted. But it's good replacement quick tire if you need it. So I'll be saving that. Okay, so we got the back wheel off. And now it's time to get the cranks off. Make sure to break these pedals loose first. Let's see if I can break these pedals loose off of here. Wow. Let's see, guys. Yeah, that's really, they're really on there. Yeah, really on there. Which usually pedals are. At this rate, I'm going to have to break them loose. This is the best time to break them loose, though, and get them off. If you have the bike hanging up or whatever, it's definitely the best time, because just like that, presto changeo, you get a little bit more, you have a little bit more leverage. So it makes it a little easier if you don't just take the crank arm off and try to do it that way. Unless you have a vise. If you have a vise, then you're fine. Just put the crank arm in the vise and presto changeo done. Okay, so there's a pedal. It's actually in good shape, but it's just not a very good pedal. Really. The pins are still good. It might go on another project bike, but for now, it's going to take a bucket. Okay. Always have a bucket or a bin or a box to put all your parts in. That's important. Okay. Let's see these other pedals come with you. Come loose for me. If they're giving you a little bit of struggle, an old trick that I used to use, I don't know if it's going to work for these or not. I'll certainly try. But Okay, this pedal being a bit of a knocker. So one of the things you can do with the pedal to get it to loosen up or come loose, you don't have a PD blaster or something like that to loosen it up naturally. Well, naturally. To loosen it up easier is you want to build some kind of leverage, which pretty much what I'm doing here is I'm trying to just slowly break it loose. The other thing you can do is you can look at the backside of the pedal. Sometimes you'll get lucky with pedals and there'll be an Allen key back here. This time I'm not so lucky. Didn't have that option. I'm really hoping that this pedal comes loose. You can always grab the hammer and pop it loose that way. What I'm going to do is I'm going to bring this bike down and try to hold it with my foot and see if I can break this pedal loose. Break this pedal loose. Okay, so let's see here. What you do is take a wrench, slide underneath it like that. You gotta put your foot or something in the way so that it holds still. It can be a real pain in the neck. It can be a real pain in the neck. Pedals are probably one of my least favorite things to take off of a bike, with the exception of any kind of crank components. Usually crank components are a real big pain in the neck too. Let's see here. See if we can figure out a way to break this guy loose without breaking anything else. Okay. So that's the board. Pretty much just trial and error, guys. You gotta look at it and say, okay, what's the best way that I can fix this up or get this to come off of here. Let's try this one trick, see if it works. No, it's not. It's being a real special one, so let's see if I can do the old. Well, that did not work the way I planned it to, at all. It didn't chip the frame, which is good, but I've honestly never had this happen, guys. Check this out. I just broke my 5/8 wrench. Clear off. That is really cool. I have never ever done that before. So that's Harbor Freight for you right there. That's Harbor Freight for you. Okay, let's try it. There we go. Good old fashioned craftsman. Let's see if that works. Possibly. Okay, so this one's being a real special pain in the neck. This one might be a hammer special here. Okay, you know what? Here's what we're gonna do, guys. We're gonna come back to this pedal. I'm not gonna keep messing with it, just because, for the sake of time in this video, I don't really wanna keep messing with the same pedal. You guys get the idea. You gotta take the pedal off. All right, so now let's get back to what we were doing here. Let's see. Should be right side. A little bit of further. Okay, hold on. Yes. Yep. I love these newer crank systems because they use the exact same Allen for everything. There we go, that broke was extremely easy. Okay, what about this side? See if we have such luck with this side or not. Oh, yeah, pretty good. Okay. So that came loose pretty easy. See about inside bolt. Not so much. It's pretty well rusted. Oh my goodness. Okay. That's very rusted, actually. Okay, this is gonna be special. I might have to go out to the garage and actually grab my star bolts and pop it loose because this is special. That's the thing you're gonna get though with used bikes, guys. You're gonna get. It's not gonna be easy. It's not gonna be fun. I will warn you that it's definitely a labor of love. Okay, this side came off nice and easy. This side's being a little bit of a neck, which is okay. We'll take it. we'll work with it. We'll get it to work. My guess is whoever tightened this side went kind of crazy with it. I don't blame them. They wanted to make sure the sprocket stayed straight, which is good, but okay. Again, bolt in the bucket. Crank arm in the bucket. We'll try to break this loose soon. I'm not going to do it right now, actually. I don't want to. It's a pain in the neck. I broke a freaking wrench trying to do it. Oh my goodness, that thing is, that is on there. Just even using my body weight, let's see if I can break it loose maybe. Oh wow, it's really bad. I'm hoping it's not stripped on here. I'm praying it's not stripped on here. Because if it is, that leads to a very, very big issue. So I'm going to pray it's not stripped. If it's stripped, we're in dire straits at this point. Okay, yeah guys, so I'm just going to include that on a different video on an easier way to get that loose. Probably going to have to use a PB blaster to take that off. Okay, here's all these. Let's take a look. Pull this back. Oh no, yeah, no, these are good. From what I can tell from here, they look good. Alright. Alright guys, give me just a second. I'm going to come off camera and get myself a hammer of some sort, so just be prepared. Alright ladies and gents, continuing on here. Got a hammer. It's a good tool to have on hand for doing this. And this is just a rubber glove. Looks really stupid, but it works. Pretty much what I'm going to do is, I'm going to put it over this so that it protects me from hurting anything, any internal stuff, which I just did. Just saved us from hurting anything internal. Oh good, someone left the cup in here. You're supposed to leave this metal rod in here. Always try to make sure you put that in there. Use a screwdriver to get it lined up and in place. And then it's really easy to get this through. But when in installation, that's what you want. Make sure you hold on to all this stuff. Here's a sprocket, which is actually going to need to be replaced because it's oblonged. And that would explain why I'm having such a hard time getting this bolt off at this point. So yeah, this sprocket is now junk because it was not installed properly. That is probably really cheap, so there's another cost right there. This is why I did the initial, and now I'm going to have to do more because that sprocket is done. Yeah, it's done for. Here, I'll show you guys up closer. See how it's an oval? Once it's ovalized like that, it is no good. That means it wasn't sitting correctly, and it wasn't. What happened is, and I know exactly what happened. Somebody thought that they could get away with just putting. They could put this spacer in. This spacer should have been put behind here like this, and this should have ridden inside of here. And the reason is because this is a stronger metal than the sprocket itself, and it wouldn't have caused it to ovalize like that. So this is going on the wall of shame. It is garbage. Another thing for the wall of shame. But we'll keep this. These are always good to have, and we'll keep any kind of spacers as well. They're important. Okay, next goal. Finally get this bolt loose. Well, look at that. Came right out, didn't it? Perfect. Okay, so we got that off. That's good. Like I said, I'm gonna do the other pedal in off camera. But you guys get the idea. Break it loose, or maybe that can be another video. You know, teaching you guys how to break loose pedals if they're being a real pain in the neck. All right, so now we've got that taken care of. And you're wondering to yourself, well, Greg, why don't you just keep it all together? Well, there's a reason for not keeping it all together, besides the fact that the frame's going to need to be painted and stuff. And that is to check all the components. Like, I wouldn't have known that sprocket was ovalized if I didn't take it all apart. it's vital that you take everything apart. That and so you can clean everything up. Like I'm gonna sand this down and clean up these, or at least wire brush all this rust, this surface rust off of here. It'll clean up a little bit better, make the bike run better. The whole idea here is making this bike worth the $200 that I'm going to be hopefully charging someone else for. Okay. All right. So let's check these bearings. You know what? They seem okay. Oh, this side's a little seized. Yeah, this side's a little seized up. So I'll have to pop this this ring right here and check the bearings. They could just be dirty. That happens a lot. Dirt gets in tiny spaces very easily. Dust and dirt gets in those tiny spaces very easily. And I guarantee you that it's as simple as that. And I can just pop them loose, and we'll do that with a flat head. We're not going to pull the bearings quite yet because I want to just take the rest of the bike apart. And it's a lot easier to just lean the frame over a bench and lightly tap them out. All right, the seat post is already loose. So here comes the seat. Here goes the seat clamp. There they go. Those are both good. I already know that. Okay, now the front end. Okay, so flip it over, hang the frame up. Let's actually hang the frame from the seat stay because it'll make it easier for me to reach everything. Okay, and I'm trying to decide if I want to flip it upside down right now or not. No, that's not necessary because I need to work more in the front anyway. Okay, so next goal, take this front wheel off. That's easy. Should be fairly easy. Okay, here we go. There we go. That one's loose. Let's get this one loosey-goosey. There we go. Okay. Put that down. And unscrew these. Oh, these have lockers on them. That's nice. These have hangers. So if your front wheel does come loose, there's hangers to hold it in place. I haven't seen the setup with hangers in a long time, actually. My bike doesn't even have hangers. It's got cutouts instead. All right, so there's that. Okay, check it. Like butter. It's a little grindy, which means it needs some oil. Needs some grease. Oh, I'm sorry guys, it cut out of frame, huh? Needs some oil, for sure. But it's still good. So here we go. Front rim is good. So we'll keep that next to the bin of parts that are good. So like I assumed, front rim is good. That's good. All right, let's flip this upside down. Take these bars off. Okay. Please come off easy. Yep, just like I assumed. These ones were really bottomed out, and these ones in the front were tightened. This was done all wrong. The way you want to do a stem like this is that you want to have the bolts, you have to do a star pattern with the bolts, top to bottom, left to right. Because if you don't, then you end up with an uneven stem, which could potentially strip your bars or just send your bars into Chicago bar form really quick and easy. If you guys don't know what Chicago bars are, that's when your bars are like this. So you don't want to go off a jump and have your bars go forward like that. That would be no bueno. It would be bad. It would be bad news. Okay. There's one bolt. There's two bolts. There's three bolts. And here's number quattro. Let's see if we can get it to come out easier. There we go. I don't have to really hold the bars there. They can kind of just rest on that. They're balanced pretty good. Okay. And number 4. And the bars come right out. Now, what you want to look for with bars, this is very important, okay? This is extremely important. First off, when I paint the bike, I'm not going to cover this at all. Or I'm going to cover that, I'm going to mask it off. The reason is, and did this with my bike as well over there, is because you don't want any kind of paint really inside here. It's not gonna, a lot of people think, oh, it'll make it more sticky. No, it does the exact opposite most times. 9 times out of 10, it does the exact opposite. It actually will help strip your bars quicker than you think. Quicker than you probably could blink. Alright, so when we're checking the inside, we want to make sure there's no premature wear. There's plenty of, there's a little bit of wear on these bars, but there's enough grip on these little slats to definitely make these bars very usable, very, very good bars. And I can now know that without even riding the bike. That's the nice part. So we'll tighten these back down. Okay, now the next goal, these are good. So they go in the parts bin. Okay. Alright, now let's loosen up the stem. There we go. That came off a lot easier than I thought. Let's see what this one does. Yep. Okay, good. That's a good sign. Alright, now. Oh, actually this came off a lot easier than I thought. It was sitting a lot higher than it needed to be. The threads are still good, which is good. But they were sitting on like the first top 3 threads, which is sketchy. It works, but it's definitely sketchy. Okay, now this is new. I've never had this happen before. Well, I probably have in my past, but we're gonna need our good friend, the hammer, which is a persuader, to get this fricker off of here because it's it probably got painted and get that loosened it up a little bit. No. Okay. So here's a new problem that we have. The stem. Oh my goodness. The stem is like on here. So there's a couple different ways to take care of the situation. I can either keep pounding with a hammer and hope that it comes loose, or I can loosen up these bolts right here again. Just they're already hand loosened anyway. I can tighten them back down, put the bars back on, and use the bars as leverage, which is what I'm going to do. Because believe it or not, that will be quicker, number 1. And number 2, I don't have to worry about damaging the frame. I don't have to worry about damaging anything else by messing with the hammer. And also, I don't have to worry about impacting. The least amount of impact you can do, the better, because parts are still parts and they can still get brittle. Metal gets weak, just like anything else. So, what I'm going to do is, I'm going to throw these bars on here, put this back on. This video is probably getting stupid long, by the way. And I probably need to get going soon, but I'm going to try to make this as quick as humanly possible. Okay. That being the case, I'll grab these T-handles are like the best thing ever, simply because they just are easier, they're quick. The only thing that could probably be quicker than a T-handle for Allen keys is if you were to buy a socket set like I have. I also have a Torx socket set that I can use with my Allens, with my socket wrench, which makes it a little bit quicker. So now I'm going to use this for leverage. Try to get this to come off here. There we go. It's starting to come a little bit at a time. There we go. I'm making a lot more progress than I would have otherwise. What we're going to do here, guys, is we're going to actually pull this down from the rafters real quick. There we go. And I'm going to do the old-fashioned trick of, like I said, what you do is you stand in front of the forks. It's better if you have a tire on. You don't have to have a tire on. You just have to get your feet around the forks. And then you can slowly but surely work this up and off of here. There we go. Come on. Come on, come on. Alright, there was lots of paint used on this bike. Lots and lots of paint. And that's what's making this so tight. Believe it or not. It's the tons of paint that were used in totally the wrong places. Yeah, a lot of paint on there. lot. I can smell it. I can smell the old spray paint on here. Okay, so now we've got the stem off finally. Wow, this fork's pulled right off of there. That's awesome. Hey, that worked a lot better than I thought. Ooh, a sealed bearing. That is very wet. However, it is still good, which is good. Okay, the top bearing is not sealed. Big surprise. Let's see if the ball is falling. They're surprisingly not. So therefore, the headset on this guy is a go. It's good. It's awesome. There's one bare hole. That makes me happy. So it's re-greased and washed, re-greased, and we're good to go on that. So, get a good pair of kink forks and a good headset. That's wonderful. That's good news. So that's one less thing I gotta buy. But now, I've got one other purchase to make, which is a sprocket, which is going to cost about the same amount as this headset would have cost. So we're still in the 200 range. That's good news. All right. So now we are actually down to a completely taken apart bike with the exception of bearings, which I might leave the races just in there. Leave the bearings in there while I paint it. I'll just mask them off while I'm cleaning and stuff like that. Same with the cups. I'm probably going to have to just sand them down as well and clean them up with the paint job. But yeah, I mean, the frame's really solid. This is the nice thing, guys. Once the bike's completely taken apart, you can look at the rest of the welds to make sure everything looks copacetic, which it looks real good. Looks really good, actually. Bike looks like it's in fantastic shape. You can look down the back end, make sure nothing's twisted or bent, which it's not. It's fantastic. That way too. That way too. So we're straight as an arrow, like I supposed. Awesome. So there's that. That, my friends, is how you take apart a BMX bike. Used BMX bike, so that you can start working on it. So that's crucial step number one of many. So glad we got that taken apart. And guys, when you catch me in the next episode, we will start greasing, oiling, and looking toward getting these parts set up so that way it's ready to be sanded, painted, and put back together. So catch you guys in the next episode. Thanks for watching Hybrid BMX. Deuces.